Do you know what terrifies them the most? Your silence. They wanted you angry. They wanted you broken. They wanted you to scream, to fight, to beg for their approval. But instead, you disappeared. No words, no reaction. Just an unsettling, deafening silence. Now, they're restless, watching, wondering, second-guessing, because silence is unpredictable. Silence is a mind game they never prepared for. They expected a storm, but you gave them the void. And nothing is more terrifying than a ghost who chooses to remain unseen. Your silence is their nightmare. Let them drown in it. They expected you to scream. They expected you to fight. They expected a war. But instead, you gave them nothing, and that nothing is now haunting them. Your silence is not weakness. It's a force beyond their comprehension. It lingers in their mind, echoing louder than any words you could have spoken. It makes them restless, uneasy, because the absence of sound is often the loudest scream. They fear silence because it strips away their control. It denies them the satisfaction of knowing what you think, what you feel, what you plan to do next. And the unknown terrifies them. You were supposed to react. You were supposed to explain yourself, to argue, to defend your name. But instead, you became a ghost, a phantom presence that refuses to give them closure. And now, they're drowning in the very silence they once mocked. Silence is a weapon. Wield it well, and you can bring an empire to its knees without raising a single hand. They expected to manipulate you, control you, bend you to their will. But the moment you stopped responding, the power shifted. Now, they're the ones feeling powerless. Now, they are at your mercy. Silence takes away their leverage. It leaves them grasping at nothing, desperate for a reaction. They poke, they prod, they push waiting, hoping for you to break. But you don't. You just watch. Observe. Let them stew in their own paranoia. And nothing is more terrifying than an enemy who does not reveal their next move. The silence messes with their mind. It forces them to confront their own demons. They start overthinking, imagining things that don't exist, twisting their own reality until they're tangled in a web of their own creation. Did I go too far? Are they planning something? What if they're just waiting for the right moment to strike? And just like that, your silence becomes their greatest punishment. Your silence doesn't just make them uneasy, makes them afraid. They start to question everything. Every insult they threw at you, every game they played, every moment they underestimated your strength. Now, instead of laughing, they are looking over their shoulder. Instead of feeling superior, they feel exposed, vulnerable. And it's all because of the void you left behind. People fear what they cannot predict. And you have become unreadable. The less you say, the more they wonder. The more they wonder, the more they fear. Your silence turns you into a question that has no answer, a presence that cannot be defined, and the unknown is always more terrifying than the known. They gossip, they whisper, they create their own stories in their heads about what you might be thinking, what you might be doing, what you might be planning. And in that moment, you control their mind without ever lifting a finger. There is no revenge greater than becoming untouchable. They expected you to chase closure. They expected you to beg for explanations, to fight for justice. But instead, you walked away. And now, they're the ones left with unfinished business. They see you rising, thriving, becoming something greater than they ever imagined. And it kills them. Because deep down, they know they no longer matter. And that realization, that's your revenge. You have become a force they cannot define, a presence they cannot shake, a nightmare they cannot escape. Because silence is power. Silence is control. Silence is the final nail in their coffin. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to justify anything. You don't need to seek revenge. Your existence is enough. Let them fear your silence. Let them drown in it. Let them suffer under the weight of everything they will never know about you. Because when you stop reacting, their power ends. Final verdict: you win.